Hello, and welcome to our DogBizPro help video series. In this video, we'll be explaining how to create a new employee. Inside of DogBizPro, you are able to add in your own employees. Employees are just used for data purposes inside of the software, so they are not able to log in on their own. However, by creating an employee, you can assign them to specific services when they are actually scheduled. To start, you would just want to navigate to your admin module by clicking on the module dropdown and selecting admin. Once inside, you would just want to click on the Setup tab, Getting Started, and then Employees in order to be brought to your Employees page. From inside of this Employees page, you can view and edit your existing employees, as well as create a brand new one. If you wanted to edit an existing employee, you can click on the employee in question in order to open up that editing window. And from inside this editing window, you can make any changes that you need to. Once you're finished, you would just want to scroll down and click the Save button in order to actually save your changes. If you actually wanted to create a new employee, you can do that by clicking on the New Employee button. As a reminder, this button will only show if you have available employee slots remaining. So again, if this button is showing, you would just want to click the New Employee button in order to actually add a new employee to your account. The first section showing inside of this window is the first and last name text boxes. Here you can actually enter in that employee's first and last name. So if you wanted that employee's name to be something like test employee, you could enter that here. The next area showing inside of this window is the user dropdown. This user dropdown would allow you to link an employee to an existing user account. So if you have a user and employee who are the same person, you can link them together using this user dropdown. So if I wanted to link this new employee to my user account, I could click on the user dropdown, select the user account in question, and that would link the two together. The next area showing inside of this window is the rate text box. This text box will let you say the pay rate for this employee. There's no payroll services or anything like that inside of the software, so this would just be for reference. So if you wanted to reflect an employee's pay rate inside of the software, you can add it here. For now, I'll just leave that set to 0. The next area showing inside of this window is the color box. This color box will determine the color of this employee's assigned services. You're able to have different color coding for your calendars inside of the software. So if you had chosen the instructor color coding for your calendars, then scheduled services with this employee assigned would be showing in the color you assign inside of this location. For this example, let's say you wanted to assign a green color to this employee. All you would have to do is click on the color box, choose the green color, and that would set it up to be for that employee. So again, if you were using the instructor color coding for your calendar, then any scheduled service with this employee assigned would be showing in that green color. The next area showing inside of this window is the state dropdown. Here you can choose an actual state for your employee. So you just want to click on the state dropdown, choose a state in order to actually set them for that particular state. The next section showing inside of this window is where you would actually enter all that employee's personal information. So if you notice, there's a street text box, a city text box, an email text box, etc. So if you wanted to add in any extra personal information for your employee, you could do that here. As a reminder, if you had autoresponders or emails set up to go out to an instructor, you would just want to make sure that they have an email set up inside this location, because that would determine where that email would get sent to. The next section showing inside of this window is the type area. This section will allow you to control what type of an employee you are adding. If you wanted this employee to only show when you attempt to schedule a class, private training appointment, or event, then you could check the instructor checkbox. If you wanted this employee to be just set up for being a daycare or boarding attendant, then you could uncheck that instructor checkbox and just check the boarding and daycare attendant checkboxes. If you wanted this employee to be available for all your scheduled services, then you could check all the checkboxes showing inside of this section. So again, you could assign this employee to a boarding appointment, a daycare appointment, a class, therapy, etc. The last area showing inside of this window is the bio section. Here you're able to create a bio for your employee. If the client was to click on the Instructor Bio button from the client registration portal, they'd be able to see the bio information showing. So again, if you wanted to add extra information about your employee, you could add that inside this location here. Once finished, you can scroll down and click the Save button in order to actually create this new employee. Now, you should be able to see your new employee showing inside of this page. If you went to schedule a valid service, you should now be able to assign the employee you had just created. Hopefully that helps and explains how to create a new employee.